as one of the most powerful platforms for sharing ideas, showcasing innovations, and also learning from government initiatives. So here, this is where we not only discuss emerging and new technologies, is also we see how technologies transform last mile delivery and transforming the lives of the people. These awards were constituted in 2003, and in last, say, 23 years, there have been more than 350 recognitions all over the country, where use of technology has been celebrated, which have made impact in the lives of people. This year, in different categories, there were 6 award categories. The ministry, DAY-1 received around over 800 nominations. And in Panchayati, Gram Panchayat, there was a category of Gram Panchayat where there were 1.65 lakhs of nominations. And you can understand the scale of these awards and the level of participation. There was a rigorous process, a 3-layer rigorous process through which the awards have been selected. Through following a rigorous multi-stage selection process, 17 initiatives have been selected this year, comprising of 10 gold awards, 4 of them are sitting here, 6 silver awards and 1 jury awards. So these awards not only show how digital transformation, digital governments have been adopted, it also, these awards have, inculcated the spirit of innovation, competition, healthy competition among institutions and individuals across the country. Today, I have with me 4 gold award-winning initiatives that span from rural governance to urban and temple town safety, tribal health convergence, and national cyber defense, demonstrating how deep and wide our digital transformation has been so far. In Panchayat Advancement Index, which has been probably the world's largest data on rural governments, it has covered over 2.6 lakh Gram Panchayats with 150 indicators and 230 data points each. And over 37 lakh elected representatives are benefiting out of it, making right policy decisions. Trinetra in Ujjain, all of you, I think most of you who are religious must have visited Ujjain, Mahakal Mandir, and there's a huge campus, 116 acres, and the district government, the local district magistrate who is here, they have used this 450 plus AI-enabled cameras and used digital technologies, which has resulted into 10-fold increase of footfalls and easy access without any issues or without any major law and order issues. E-Arogya Damani, which was taken in Nandurbar district magistrate, was a classic example of culturally rooted, digitally enabled tribal health. They have mapped over 15 lakh persons, and this is how they have transformed the life of high-risk mothers and children. Cyber defense platform developed by National ISRO Space Application Center, where they are continuously making our cyberspace safe by deploying artificial intelligence, cyber threat and intelligence, and DNS layer of defense. They have extremely used during this operationally tested during Operation Sindoor. So today I will request all of you to look at their initiatives, also understand how the institutions have worked and transformed, how the partnerships have worked, how their individual leaderships have made difference to these projects. So without taking much of the time, I will start straight away. First of all, congratulate all the Gold Award winners here, and then now I will invite Mr. Sushil Kumar Lohani ji, who is Additional Secretary with the Ministry of Panchayati Raj, to present the Panchayat Advancement Index. Just to give a background, Mr. Lohani is a 1995 batch of IAS officer for Odisha cadre and is a mechanical engineer graduate from IIT Kanpur. He has been closely associated with several key Panchayati institutions initiatives, including Gram Panchayat Development Plan, Panchayati Advancement Index, and the localization of sustainable development goals. Over his careers with Government of India, He has served as Joint Secretary in the Department of Fertilizers, Executive Director of Rural Electrification Corporation, and Additional Commissioner of the EPFF. In Odisha, he has worked across rural development, drinking water, health, and taxation, and also served as District Collector of Sambalpur, Balangir, and Koenjas. The floor is yours, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. As you know, Ministry of Panchayati Raj, basically Panchayat is a state subject. However, Ministry of Panchayati Raj, we basically try to strengthen the Panchayat. So, Panchayat governance, local self-government, governance part strengthening we take up. And various initiatives we have been taking up, including capacity building of Panchayats, providing Finance Commission grants, doing hand-holding of Panchayats for preparing plans, then financial management. And one aspect which was missing was about monitoring their progress and performance. So this Panchayat Advancement Index fills that gap. Who will operate this? As you know, Panchayati Raj system in Odisha, in India actually evolved after 73rd Constitution Amendment, which was a watershed moment. Three-tier PRI system was introduced, regular elections, reservation for women, SC, STs, then State Finance Commission, State Election Commissions were set up. Then 29 subjects were identified for devolving to the Panchayats, or to the three-tier, and Panchayats was supposed to act a hub for service delivery, regulatory, statutory, welfare, and civic utility. It was basically a counterpart of municipal corporation and municipalities in the urban areas. And in the 16th Finance Commission, we are going to release close to 4.35 lakh crore of rupees to three-tier PRIs, only out of Finance Commission grant. Then there are other grants like now G-Ram-G, every year 1 lakh crore will be going to the three-tier. And then other state and central government schemes also get implemented through three-tier PRIs. If you see the numbers, we have close to 2.62 lakh PRIs in the country. Then there are other local bodies in northeastern states where we have autonomous council, village councils, etc. Then we have 6,733 block panchayats and 675 Jila panchayats. So these are the three-tier structure, and close to 32 lakh PRI elected members are there in the country, out of which almost 45–46% are women. So now these panchayats play a very, very important role in the development in social sector, in ensuring local development, in providing civic services, in drinking water, sanitation, various other. In fact, in a lot of places there are also common service centers are also co-located at the panchayat. So a lot of online services are also being provided by panchayats. Now we have all the panchayats are guided by the local state acts and rules. So the level of devolution of functions and powers to the panchayat varies from the state to state. Despite that, there are some common denominator which all the panchayats are performing. So there was no index, no tool through which we can measure the performance of these local bodies. They didn't know where they stand as on today, and what development parameters they are lagging behind, and what they need to do to improve themselves, how much fund are there, how best they can plan the activities during the year so that they can improve their overall performance. So this is where we used to stand. Then you must have heard about Sustainable Development Goals. These goals basically provide a global framework for inclusive sustainable development. Government of India has adopted this UN 2030 agenda, and then these goals are basically 17 in numbers and 169 targets. We have adopted, Government of India has adopted it, and all the ministries in Government of India, all the state governments have been persuaded, have been nudged to work towards achieving these goals by 2030. when the matter came to us, Ministry of Panchayati Raj, we were of the firm view that these goals cannot be achieved, particularly in rural areas, unless all the local bodies work towards achieving these goals. So what we did, the 17 goals which we need to achieve, and then there were 29 subjects which have been devolved to the panchayats. We merged both of them and we came up with 9 themes. These themes, because these 17 goals, which looks very good and very easy to understand at national and global level, but at the grassroots level, these PRI members, they cannot relate with these numbers, these terminologies, these language, etc. So we thought that unless we convert them into a language and into a target which they can relate to, and they can relate with the type of work which they are doing, they will not be able to achieve these goals. So what we did, we have converted them into 9 themes. So these are the 9 themes. If you see the language, poverty-free and enhanced livelihood, very easily understood, which basically deals with sectors like income generation, social security, food security, etc. I'm not going to cover all of them. There are healthy panchayat, which basically deals with health and nutrition. Theme 5, which is clean and green panchayat, which deals with sanitation, ODF, renewable energy, etc. Then theme with good governance and women-friendly panchayat. So these are the different themes, and each theme relate to one or more of SDG. If you see on the right side, theme 1 gets linked with SDG 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are a number of this is basically no poverty. That was the goal of SDG. Similarly, if you see, so these 9 themes, if you see the language in which these have been written, if you ask a panchayat to achieve a woman-friendly panchayat theme, they will easily understand what they need to do, how they need to improve the health of the woman, the safety of the woman, literacy, economic potential for income generation for the woman, formation of SHG, etc. But if you talk in the terms of SDG goals, they may not be able to relate. So this is what we did. Now we need to measure where they stand as on today in each of these 9 themes. There is no way how we can measure in woman-friendly panchayat theme. Are they at the 50% level, or they have reached saturation, or how far or how away they are from achieving saturation? The government data, these woman-related issues are dealt by various ministries in Government of India. Health Ministry deals with it, Women Child Development Ministry, Home Ministry deals with it. In the state also, number of departments deals with it. Data are there in different portals, different schemes are there. Many times if we find data, the information is lying in the registers at the panchayat level, or at the Anganwadi center level, or at the ANM center level. So it was a big challenge how we can measure their present status. So then we did some brainstorming, and then we came up with this idea of Panchayat Advancement Index, which is basically a data-driven governance. This is a first nationwide index, which is basically multi-dimensional, which can assess the progress of GPs in different parameters, and it can measure the current status. It can identify the strengths and weaknesses of each of the Gram Panchayat on the different themes of SDG. Then we have a concept of giving scores to each of these 9 themes between 0 to 100. And there's a composite score, which is basically geometric mean of the thematic scores of all the 9 themes. Now we are also using this, if we find that some panchayats, we have a concept of National Panchayat Awards. So how we can how we'll assess the performance of the panchayat. So we are using these indicators, this index as a tool for assessing the performance of the panchayats. And then if they work in this thematic manner and try to achieve saturation in each of these themes, automatically they will achieve the SDG also. So this is the objective with which Panchayat Advancement Index was launched. So these are the, when we give them scores on each of these 9 themes, so we categorize them in A+, A, B, C, D, E. If there's somebody has scored 90 plus in any of the theme, we give them A+, like that. And D is 0, less than 40 or below. If somebody is scoring in one of the theme, we give them D category. Now, this is how the Panchayat Advancement Index was conceptualized, but now how will we calculate the score? So what we did, for each of these themes, we identified a set of indicators. We had a consultation with different ministries in Government of India, we consulted state governments, and then we came up with a set of indicators. And like for woman-friendly panchayat, if we say there are 13, 14 indicators, if some panchayat is doing well in all the indicators, we can easily say that that panchayat is working towards woman-friendly panchayat. And if they're lagging behind in some of these indicators, their score will come down, and then we can say that there's a gap between what they should do and what they're currently doing. Then we set up a portal, pi.gov.in, where all the indicators were listed, and these indicators were selected in such a way that the data, accurate data, is easily available to us. Either through the portals, we have like housing status. This Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, there is a portal. If you want to know about the unemployment level for unskilled workers, we had a NREGA portal from where data was easily available. If you want to understand about the drinking water facility in the villages, under Jal Jeevan Mission, some data was available. Similarly for Swachh Bharat Mission. Similarly for nutrition, we had a Poshan tracker. Similarly for education, enrollment status, we want to know, there were some information available with Education Ministry. But lot of indicators, data was not easily available. So what we did, we then identified which are those indicators for which data has to be collected from the ground. And then as many as possible, we try to have binary type of indicators where we have to just write yes or no, whether A&M center exists in the panchayat, yes or no. So then again, we can assure accuracy. And for some data which were not available anywhere, we collected from the ground. So around 30% data we collected from the ground, and rest we collected from different sources, so that we can ensure accuracy of the data and integrity of the data. Data points we identified. For entire thing, we had a detailed consultation with all the line ministries and state government officials, so that we are on the right track. We are all on the same plane. Then we had data collection. Data collection was done again through the system only, where panchayats, district level, state level, we had customization, feature for customization of the portal was also there, because the governance structure varies from state to state. So wherever we identified which department will collect which set of data, and then in the state verticals, similarly assignment was done, and then the data validation exercise was also taken up accordingly. So this way we collected all the data, and then we took help of some statisticians. We did the data cleaning exercise. Then we utilized some statistical models for arithmetic mean, geometric mean, etc. And then we arrived at the figures. So in all, if you see, we had close to 3.17 crore process development indicators, 4.65 crore of data points, 2.6 lakh gram panchayats, 1 lakh line department and block officials. They were involved in the entire exercise, and then BDOs and other district level officers, etc. And this was the outcome. This we call panchayat scorecard. If you see this scorecard, there is a composite score of 75.76. This is a panchayat in Karnataka, Udupi district, Hebri block. Panchayat name is Mudradi. They have scored 75.76 as a composite score, which comes under A category. And then there are thematic scores. If you see each one, like first one is poverty free and enhanced livelihood, 92%, which is basically they have achieved saturation, close to saturation. Healthy panchayat, 82. Last one, if you see woman friendly panchayat, 66.85. If you see all the themes, the best performance is poverty free and enhanced livelihood, and relatively not that good is clean and green panchayat. So now the panchayat knows which area they should focus on, and in this also, if they get into activities, they will know which are the activities they should focus to improve the score of that particular theme. And this is another scorecard which is available at the panchayat level. If you see, this is very detailed, not legible because too many items are there. If you see in the left side, we have different themes, score of different themes. Then in the middle, we have which are the indicators in that panchayat which are doing well. And then this right side, you have key development indicators, which are the sectors and what is the performance of those sectors, like habitation connected with road, tap water connection, household toilet. So this figure, these are all available at the panchayat level, and panchayat, when they take up their plan, they can relate to this data and they can decide which are the areas they should focus on for improving those indicators. Now we have already conducted survey for 2 years, PI 1.0 and PI 2.0. And if you see in the bottom left corner, his performance of the Panchayat's performance of last 2 years from 60.39, it has reached 76. That is how it has improved its performance. And if you see on the, there is one figure which says your GPE score, your block average and district average. So that Panchayat can compare themselves with what is the average block score and what is the average district score, so they can relate with their counterparts within the district, state and block. And this is another, if you see, this is a Tripura, at the state level a dashboard like this can be prepared. If you see Tripura state, there are 1176 Gram Panchayat, and if you see that circle, the pie chart around 80% Gram Panchayats are in A category. Tripura that way has done well in these themes, and these are the top 6 themes where they have not done that well. Water sufficient, woman friendly, child friendly, clean village, and like water sufficient, 23% GPs are in C and D category. So at the state level, those who are have to focus on the planning, they can decide that now we need to, for our Panchayat, need to focus on water sufficient and woman friendly Panchayat. On the right side, you see the GPs with the best themes. That score is also available. This is another pie-based, another analysis. If you see on all the 9 themes on which different grades the Panchayats are figuring. This is one example where we have further drilled down to the indicator level. If you see healthy Panchayat, this is of Tripura. Serial number 1 is the underweight children under 5 years. So in indicator number 1, A plus is 197 Gram Panchayats. So and D 38 Gram Panchayats. So the state knows that there are 38 Gram Panchayats, and if you click that, you can know the list of the Gram Panchayats also. These are the Gram Panchayats which are not doing well in under 5 children under 5 years. Underweight children under 5 years. So similarly, there are 15 indicators. On each of these indicators, now state knows where their Panchayats stand. Another example I'll give, this is a Gomti district, dashboard of the district dashboard. Here again, the overall 173 Gram Panchayats are there in this district, and 76.9% are in A category and few are in B, C and D category. And there again, different details are available. So district collector or CEO Jila Parishad can look at this dashboard and can plan their activities for improving the performance under various themes of their Gram Panchayats. This is another way of presenting the data. This is again in drilling down up to the indicator level for Gomti district. If you see in A plus, there are 166 GPs under 1 year mortality rate. So they are doing pretty well in under 1 year mortality rate, but in some of these things, particularly 8, 9, 10, 11 indicators, they are not doing that well. So now the district will know that these are the indicators they should focus on. Similarly, a block level dashboard can also be prepared, and BDOs looking at the dashboard can work out the strategy for improving the saturation level under various themes of his blocks. This one is another drilling down up to the, now this is another interesting thing. This I have taken Navsari parliamentary constituencies. You can have the analysis not only of the district, block and Gram Panchayat, but also you can do it parliament constituency wise, assembly constituency wise, or any other geographical unit you want to understand or want to analyze. Honorable Minister Drinking Water wanted that to have an analysis of his constituency. We did it for him, and that is how it figures. So when honorable MPs can see and decide about the weak areas and the strong areas in their parliamentary constituencies. This is another way of presenting the same data. Now, this is all we have done so far, and there are a lot of practical applications. States are already using it. Different states are using this data. Many states are using this data for, in fact, 2-3 states I know, their state finance commission grants, there is a component of performance grant. They are now deciding which panchayat should be given performance grant based on the PI score in their panchayats. Similarly, one state, Sikkim, they have decided that the state finance commission grant will be going to the component, the component will go to the, like health sector, there's a component, it will go to those panchayats where health indicators are poor. Now every year we also prepare Gram Panchayat development plan. So when Gram Sabha is held on first Gram Sabha for preparing the plan, they have to take a resolution which of the 9 themes they're going to focus in the coming year, and they have to devote 25% of their resources and 25% of their activities for that particular theme. So this PI score will be a very good handy tool for them to decide which theme they should focus on in their Gram Panchayat development plan. This I am skipping. Just to give an illustration how maternal mortality rate reduction can be supported by acting on the PI score data, because maternal mortality rate, if you see, we have a number of indicators in PI, whether all ASA workers have filled up, posts have been filled up, percentage of antenatal checkup. So in each of these themes, we have given certain weightage. So when the healthy panchayat score comes, so that takes care of these indicators also. So if we have to improve maternal mortality ratio in the district or in the panchayat, if these 4 indicators are taken care of, then that score will improve. So the national indicators and PI indicators, they are all linked, and if you improve PI indicators, national figures will improve. Now we have lot of information. Now unless the stakeholders themselves know, when you give the exam, unless the results marks are given to you, you don't know how you performed and what are the weak areas where need to improve. So this PI scores we have disseminated through a series of workshops among PRIs at the block level, district level, state level, so that they become conversant with their score, and they start discussing how to improve the thematic scores under different themes. We have sensitized more than 4.7 lakh PRI functionaries. We have also asked the states and panchayats to display this scorecard outside their Gram Panchayat, so that when people come, they themselves discuss and ask questions to the Gram Panchayat functionaries why our scores are poor. We conducted a special Gram Sabha on one of these days where PI scores were discussed, and we conduct series of training how this PI score can be used for different purposes, particularly for designing your training program, designing your various schemes, prioritizing your plans, etc. And National Panchayat Awards now are being given, 50% weightage is being given to the PI scores. We subsequently will make it 100% in due course. Now we have 2 rounds of PI. In PI 1.0 we had 500 indicators. Of course it was a big challenge to collect data on 500 indicators. So based on our feedback, we went for PI 2.0 with 150 indicators. And this is how the coverage has improved from 29 state UT to 33 state and UT. Except for West Bengal, Delhi and Chandigarh, entire country participated. Delhi and Chandigarh do not have Gram Panchayats, and West Bengal, they had decided not to participate, but PI 3.0 they have agreed to join. Similarly, in PI 1.0, 80% GPs participated, PI 2.0, 97.3% GPs participated. Right side, if you see the tables, how the PI scores in the 2 PI has improved. In A category, earlier 699 GPs were there, it has increased to 3,635. Similarly, for B and D, numbers have increased because the additional GPs which were joined, they were mostly in D category. That's why numbers have increased. Otherwise, things are quite encouraging. So that is all from my side. So PI has a huge potential. All the line ministries, we are creating dashboard. They can see where their schemes are in their sectors, how they are performing. They can drill it down up to the panchayat level. As I told you, public representative, MPs, MLAs, they can see through dashboard where, in which areas, which geographical entities are lagging behind, how to improve them. Many states have state chief minister dashboard. We are now talking to states. We can provide a link to their dashboard. Honorable chief ministers can themselves see how their panchayats are performing. Sector-wise analysis, health, education, infrastructure, various analysis we can do, and we can provide a lot of inputs to the different line ministries. And so much data we have collected, it can trigger a lot of research in various developmental sectors based on the data which are available. And a lot of predictive and prescriptive analytics analytics can be done through this. In fact, now we are going to use AI this time to prepare a Gram Panchayat development plan based on the pi indicator data. And this will throw a plan which is a prescriptive plan for the Gram Panchayat. They can always amend it. So it will provide them a good background information on which are the features, which are the indicators they should work upon to saturate various activities. That is all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a wonderful presentation. Friends, you can see that the scale itself is overwhelming. Over 250,000 Gram Panchayats with such granularity of 150 indicators. So we must give a big round of applause to Ministry of Panchayati Raj and Lohani ji for his leadership for this useful program. You wanted to add something?
In fact, we have a portal called pi.gov.in. You can go to the portal. You can see the score of your own Gram Panchayats also. You can see it in your mobile also. You can drill down to district, block, Gram Panchayat. Thank you.
तो माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का जो विजन है सबका साथ सबका विकास जो उन्होंने देखा था, आई थिंक उसको ग्राउंड लेवल पे मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पंचायती राज ने पाई इंडेक्स का जो ये टेक्नोलॉजी इनेबल्ड इंटरवेंशन किया है, इट्स गोइंग टू बी अ game changer. Thank you, sir. Now I invite Raushan Kumar Singh, IS Collector and District Magistrate Ujjain, and also Chairman of Mahakaleshwar Temple Management Committee and Ujjain Smart City Limited, to present the Trinetra. Mr. Singh is a 2015 batch IS officers of Madhya Pradesh cadre and is an alumnus of IIT Kanpur, holding both BTech and MTech degrees. He has held key administrative assignments, including Commissioner of Ujjain Municipal Corporation and also Collector of Vidisha, where he led several citizen-centric initiatives in health, nutrition, education, infrastructure, farmer welfare and livelihood promotion under the Aspirational Districts Program, work that earned Vidisha district level recognition from Government of Madhya Pradesh. He has assumed charge as Collector Ujjain in 2025. Raushan.
Thank you, sir. Respected dignitaries on the guest, on dais, and my dear friends here. I am here to present the project Trinetra, and I am joined by my colleagues Pratham Kaushik, who is CEO of the temple, Palas, who is Executive Engineer of the Smart City, Sachin, who is Engineer at the Smart City. First of all, this project is not only a surveillance model, but it's tech-driven, proactive governance for service delivery, I would say. And obviously, the name takes inspiration from Lord Shiv's third eye, who can see everything around the clock and from everywhere. This project was sponsored by Smart City, and obviously, it is for the crowd management at Sri Mahakal Temple. Next slide. So Ujjain is, I think, known to everyone. We have Sri Mahakaleshwar temple, which is one of the 12 Jyotirlings. And after every 12 years, we host a Mahakumbh called Singhast. And the next one is scheduled in 2028. And we are one of the ancient Sapt Puriyon mein se ek hai hum log. And we have several other temples like Sandipani Ashram, where Lord Sri Krishna is believed to have received the education, and we have Kalbhairav temple, we have Chintaman Ganesh temple. So it's a dharmic nagari which is now transforming into a industrial city and other such things. This project, this is a snapshot of the project. We have more than 100 acres of temple premises, and we have installed more than 450 AI-enabled cameras at 275 locations. And we have a FRS system which can work at more than 10,000 per minute. Next slide. We witnessed a major milestone in 2022 when Honorable Prime Minister inaugurated Sri Mahakal Mahalok in October 22. And it was a major milestone in terms of the footfall, because earlier we witnessed around 20 to 30,000 pilgrims per day. But after this, the number has gone up to, presently we are witnessing more than 2 lakhs pilgrims per day on any average day. And on peak days like Mahashivratri and New Year, this number goes up to 8 to 9 lakhs. And as I said, this Trinetra model helped us in a great deal in handling with such a huge footfall. The footfall I already mentioned, and with this system, we witnessed several other developments also. For example, we can see that the temple revenue grew from 46 crores to 280 crores. And the daily peak, as I said, we are able to handle up to 10 lakhs pilgrims per day on special occasions. We took inspiration from Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine Board system, where an RFID based system was installed for obviously crowd management. As I said, apart from the temple, we have Mahakal corridor, where more than 100 acres of land is there. So crowd management was one of the aspects. Apart from that, during day also, we witness the footfall, the density of footfall is variable. In some hours we see less number of persons, and suddenly it goes up to 30,000, 40,000 persons per hour. So we have to be ready with any plan A, plan B, plan C models and routes where we can take the pilgrims for darshan. And response time is also a very big factor, because in any case of urgency, earlier our system was reactive model, but now with this AI model, we are working on proactive system, where beforehand we are able to decide which route to take, where to divert the crowd so that they can have the darshan in less time, and we are able to deal with any emergent situation very effectively. Apart from that, headcount is one thing, and we are able to give the numbers accurately, and we are able to protect our heritage also, because the temple is ancient one and the cultural heritage is also very rich. So with this system, we tried our best to protect the cultural heritage of the temple and the premises. So with this system, as I said, we have more than 450 cameras, and FRS system is one of the major highlights of the system, and on later slide I will demonstrate the benefits of this. The cameras are based on edge technology, where each camera is working on decentralized model, and it can run up to 10 functions, AI analytics, and based on those decentralized models, we are able to take decisions, as I said, which route to take, what will be our strategy. And we have integrated control room, where we have a GIS dashboard, where we can see the temple situation and the crowd situation, and we can take decisions based on those situations. These are some of the snaps of the cameras. We have mini domes, we have bullet cameras, PTG domes. This is very interesting slide, and during this 45 days assessment period of 1st November to 15th December 2025, more than 550 missing persons were united with their families. More than 50 lost items were provided to the owners, and theft cases and police cases were also detected. With your permission, sir, I would request CEO Pratham Kaushik to give some examples on this slide. वहीं से बता दो.
So basically, I'll just narrate two incidents on which we use this setup to identify certain instances. First of all, we originally planned that this thing will be used for preventive mechanism, as well as identifying of suspects which were given to us by the police department. So we have a database where we have fed, let's say, database of faces of identified criminals, and when that face matches the facial recognition system of the temple, then we can identify that this suspicious person is in the temple. But that was our original thought. But while implementation, we realized that one incident happened where a lady who was who ran away from her house because of some mental issues, and then we got information that she was last seen in the temple. So we identified that she left the temple at around 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and we informed the family and the police as well that this lady is not in the temple right now. So generally that you see that the 552 people, missing persons that we have identified, generally it happens that somebody is coming with his or her family, and one child is missing, and some family member is missing, and we immediately identify because of face recognition. They provide us with a photograph. We put it into the system, and the system identifies the person through facial recognition and locates the person, telling us that this person was last seen at this gate or was last identified by this camera. So we can immediately intervene. But in this incident, the lady the lady left the temple at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, but and we informed that we could not identify the lady. But 3 days down the line, we got an alert that this face which was fed into the system, that face has now been recognized in the temple. The face popped up, and we identified that lady who was facing some mental health issues, and we reunited that lady with her family. So this was one positive incident that we basically used this system, and at a gap of 3 days, which was normally not the case in case of the temple. Another one was, let's say, one person who came to us in the control room and said that I was wearing a gold chain worth 5 lakh rupees, and somebody snapped my chain. So, and he was saying that he last realized that he had the chain at this point, and let's say after passing through this particular barrier, he was not having the chain. Then we just saw that which person was snatching the chain, identified that person, his location in the temple, identified that this person has left the temple from this gate at this point of time, and alerted our all security guards. And without the help of the police and without the help of any outside agency, we simply intervened, and our control room operators returned that lost chain within 40 minutes. And these kind of incidents, these two incidents that I just narrated, they are basically highlighting what use this system has now been for us, because originally it was simply supposed to basically monitor the footfall, but now we are using it for predictive analysis, we are using it for the suspicious persons and preventive measures as well. Thank you.
Believe me, the smile and happiness on the faces of these persons is unparalleled, and I think the most rewarding thing which we observe in the temple. If we look at the other parameters, we can see that the darshan time with this system is at around 20 minutes on any normal day. And in terms of crowd handling, during last Shravan month of 2015, close to 2 crore pilgrims visited the temple during that 1 month of Shravan period. And again, we are approaching towards that time of the year on 31st of July. So we are ready with all sorts of preparation for the next Shravan month. Apart from crowd management system and ICCC, we have this whole set of ICT services where we do bookings of Aartis and Darshan. And here I would like to highlight the NCeG system, where due to this online system, we have already received the bookings, pre-bookings till next 2 years, where one can book the Anna service on their special occasions like birthdays and anniversary and such occasions. And around 5,000 persons are fed with the prasad in this NCeG every day. And all the sponsoring is done by the pilgrims and donors here. So after this system, I would like to highlight that the next 2 years are already pre-booked. So this ICT system has given us a major boost in terms of revenue also. In terms of returns, we can see that this project cost was around 5.25 crores. And in terms of savings, we have already saved close to 8.6 crores. So in terms of economy also, this project has saved money for the temple. The process was also very stakeholder consultations were already done, and all sorts of stakeholders in terms of devotees and pujaris, their security forces, their feedback was considered for effective system. And in terms of testing also, since AI is evolving in nature, so user testing was also done so that we have a mature system in place. And we are taking care of all the legal and ethical compliances in terms of FRS and other AI techniques. These are some of the testimonials from media. We can see that after this system, we are able to cater to more than 8 crores pilgrims per year. The data of the last year has crossed, broken all the record, and this year we have witnessed 8 crores pilgrims per year. And in terms of economic growth also, we can say that 3,000 crores of trade has come into the city. Our future plans are integrating WhatsApp AI chatbot, as we were witnessing in the opening session of today's program also. We are also in that process, and shortly we'll be able to launch a WhatsApp version of AI chatbot for services. We can say that we have a model ready which can be implemented on any such occasion of this great footfall and great numbers, because the scale has at any level, the scale has proven at Ujjain, which is cost effective also, and it can be adapted as per the design. So in any big event, this system can be implemented there. So the way forward is we are witnessing Kumbh in 2028, and as per our estimates, we'll be witnessing around 40 crores pilgrims throughout the 1 month event in 2028. And on the peak day, which we call Amrit Snan, we have estimated that more than 4 crore pilgrims will come in the city. And for this huge event, we are already planning to upscale this model of crowd management through ICCC, and we are already preparing for that, and we are in the process of tendering, and the learnings from this model will be great for us, and I think with this we'll be able to handle such a huge crowd management during 2028 Singhas also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Raushan. I mean, this was really a true remarkable technology-led initiative where you learn from Vaishnav Devi Shrine Board and executed in Mahakal, and now it is going to Mahakumbh. I mean, this is why the e-governance awards are very useful, where such initiatives have to be replicated and scaled at a high level. And as a part of my personal role as a Digital India Corporation, we would like to collaborate with Ujjain, and we would like to take it to other major shrines or temples across the nation. Congratulations once again. Now I'll go to the third category, and I'll invite Dr. Mittali Sethi, an IAS officer of 2017 batch, District Collector, Nandurbar, Maharashtra, to present E-Arogya Dhamani. Dr. Sethi is a 2017 IAS officer of Maharashtra cadre. She's a dental surgeon and orthodontist by training, and she holds an MDS degree from Dr. MGR Medical University, Chennai, and that is why I think she's a perfect candidate for a medical side intervention on field level. During her administrative career, she has served as CEO of the Chandrapur Jila Parishad and Director of Vasant Rao Nayak State Agriculture Extension Management Training Institute, Nagpur, and has worked extensively in tribal development, forest rights, public health, nutrition, migration, and rural livelihoods. Her contribution to public administration have been recognized through several honors, including Chief Minister's Award for Excellence in Public Administration, the IIPA SS Gadkari Award, Niti Aayog's Youth Case Challenge Award, and the Arogya Dhamani Best Practice Showcase. Dr. Mittali.
Can I have the presentation, please? A very good evening. Before I start talking about technology, a lot of digital governance, when we talk about it, we talk about apps and a lot of dashboards. I want to start with something very simple, which is called memory. I think a lot of times when we work in public health on the field, we forget how many pregnant women have anemia, how many pregnant women have been treated for sickle cell, how many families probably have lost 2 children to sickle cell. So when we started, very honestly, we did not want a digital platform alone, We actually wanted to build a system that builds institutional memory and allows us to remember families consistently over time. And that is what eventually became Awardees of NAeG. This is a picture of one of our record rooms in the state, actually. And just by simple calculation, an ASHA worker, who's probably the most intelligent worker in the public health workforce, spends around 50 hours every month just to maintain registers across different programs. In a district like ours, which is 70% tribal, has 2 blocks which are geographically very, very difficult. We almost have 60 to 70 villages that we lose contact with when it rains. In all of this time, when I ask a question on, I almost have an answer when I ask how many high-risk pregnant women. I almost have an answer when I ask how many sickle cell patients. But if I ask how many pregnant women with sickle cell, sometimes the answer is, oh, let me go back to an Excel sheet and let me collect data back again and let me come back to you. And in the time that we come back and in the time we track these families, we've already come to a crisis. For those of you who don't know about sickle cell actually leads to a very quick sickling crisis and the patient can actually lose life in 2 days. So it's extremely important for us to do prophylaxis. There's a drug called hydroxyurea, which is given to sickle cell patients. So it's important for us to maintain a single point registry of patients who have the disease and other diseases which are equally important or harmful. So when we started Awardees of NAeG, there were 3 major components to what we were trying to do with a larger district level health platform. Number 1 was building a digital health census almost like system. So we wanted to capture the data point of every individual that lives in the district and have a digital data chunk. Once we have a digital data chunk, there was no need of this data to be entered in another portal. So once Mittali Sethi exists as a digital data chunk, whether I have blood pressure or diabetes or sickle cell, we do not need to make a 3rd programmatic portal where my entry should be done again. I would only in my life cycle get pregnant, have children, have a disease, or would be treated for that disease. So that foundational layer is something that we built initially. We then experimented with the sickle cell layer on top of this foundational registry because we wanted whether a patient has sickle cell or not does not require another portal. So we just layered whether a patient is normal, whether a patient is a sickle cell carrier, or whether a patient has sickle cell disease. So this is something that we started doing, and one of our main challenges when we started doing this was that even sickle cell data was scattered across 2-3 places, which I'll speak about later. On top of that, we did a 3rd layer, which was more of a human layer, a voice telephony layer with, my district has 6 tribal languages. So language again becomes a very important part of what we were doing because if we were not able to reach out to people in their languages, it was becoming difficult for us to even convince them to come to centers. This is a complicated model, but what I'll just say here is that this is ABDM compliant. The ABDM can just be put here, ABDM can be generated at the time of registration. And this foundational layer has allowed us to do 1 million use cases on top of it. In fact, the recent use case that we've just realized is that PHCs and RH and SDH and the tertiary care hospital do not talk to each other. So there's a department that looks at primary healthcare centers, which is the preventive side of public health. There is rural and subdivisional hospitals that start looking at the secondary level of public health, and then you have a bigger district hospital which looks at tertiary health. And in Maharashtra, the tertiary hospital sits in another department. So now we've started integrating this also. We've started integrating migration data, for example. So if an adolescent girl goes out of the district and does not come back, you wouldn't know about this until unless you actually have a digital registry that actually programmatically tracks all of this. At the center of this digital health census is not technology, it's our major frontline worker, which is the ASHA worker. There are two problems with public health that we currently, I think, face. Number one is that most of the data entries that we do are done for the departments. And a lot of times the triage that should happen at ASHA level or should happen at A&M level, that is difficult, and therefore one of our strongest incentive to do this was, in fact, some of our ASHAs went out and bought new phones, came back and told us that we are so happy to do this because it allows us to serve better. It allows us to triage better. She said, मुझे पता चलता है कि मेरे पास 10 में से 3 high-risk pregnant mothers हैं, and I have to put 80% of my attention to these mothers. That, I think, is problem number one. Problem number two is that we are great at identifying patients. We are great at saying that we screen this percentage of TB patients, we screen this percentage of NCD patients. We are not very good with case closures. We don't really see that if we've identified a high-risk pregnant women with anemia, do we really close this case, and has that woman actually received the treatment? Has she received another anemia checkup? And is she still anemic? Because I think public health is extremely nuanced also. Her anemia, for example, a sickle cell positive pregnant woman cannot be given blood transfusion because of the higher load. So it requires a more nuanced perspective to how we are looking at all these patients. Almost 92% today, it was 85% by when I presented. So at this point of time, we've covered almost 92% of the population, which is around 20 lakh people in the district. We have a single point registry, not only of health indicators, but of health allied indicators also, which include questions like fuel for cooking, which include sanitation indicators, and that has allowed us to actually target a lot of other schemes better also for the district with the money that we get from district and state. For the sickle cell elimination mission, when we started looking at patients, we collaborated with Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology, Hyderabad. Initially, the sickle cell testing used to happen IV. So the way all of us give blood for blood testing is generally through IV when they take blood. So it's a little difficult to do sickle cell testing because every time you want to do it, you need a nurse. We decentralized it to ASHA because CCMB Hyderabad came up with a decentralized test which could just do a malaria prick, and you could send it to CCMB where through molecular genetic testing we could identify patients. So when we started doing that, we also realized that a lot of PHCs already had legacy records of sickle cell data. There is a national portal for sickle cell where entries have happened. A lot of duplicate records were there. We had testing done through another agency in between. So there was a lot of scattered records for sickle cell. We have now built a layer on top of the digital health census we did. We've gotten all those records together, and today you can actually know which patient is actually a carrier, which patient is diseased, and which patient is normal. I want to give a practical use case of what this can do for us. In genetic diseases, you have to be very careful about who marries whom. So if a carrier marries a carrier, there is almost a 50% chance of either the child being a carrier and 25% chance of the child actually being diseased. We are not able to do this preventive exercise because not everybody is tested, and those who are tested, we don't know what their status is. So through this, we actually have, ASHAs have some power to counsel these people. And of course, technology is not a single point game. We are using our patient support groups, we are using a lot of counseling, we are using a lot of other things to do this, but technology has allowed us to target better. The third layer that we have with our program is something called a Health Action Center that is housed in the District Collector's office. These are 4 girls who sit as a call center, and they speak in Bhili, which is the most prominently spoken tribal language in the district. The data that is fetched of high-risk pregnant women, of high-risk children, they constantly call these women and they ensure that have they gone to the hospital to take their anemia treatment, and if they're not able to call the patient, they'll call the frontline worker in the village and ensure that the woman has actually had treatment or the child has actually gone to the hospital. We've now expanded this to a lot of other things. We've started checking with the PHCs whether they have supply of medicines available. Now we've also released this as an incoming number. So any ASHA, any MO, anybody in public health who has a problem and does not know how to really handle that calls on the HAC number, and then we basically solve for interoperability between departments. On top of this, I just want to show you this use case. One of this mother who was 8 months pregnant and was diagnosed with sickle cell in the 8th month of pregnancy was not coming to the PHC at all. A huge problem that we face in tribal areas is also a lack of demand from people. It's difficult for them to come to hospitals. It's a difficult geographical terrain. And it took us 4 constant calls, constant counseling for the patient to actually come to the hospital. Otherwise, we would have landed into a maternal death here. After 4 calls, the patient finally was brought. We mobilized a lot of organizations that work in the district. We mobilized the Sarpanch, we sent the medical team, and this was probably a potential maternal death that was prevented because of this intervention. I want to give 2 more use cases. Government of Maharashtra started HPV vaccination for 14 to 15-year-old girls. And this is something that a lot of us see when we work on the field. We require data of adolescent girls who were 14 to 15. So we naturally asked the health department, which they would probably fetch data from schools and give us data from their schools. When we compared that data with eSuchi, we actually discovered 1,100 additional girls whose data was not given to us by the health department, because a lot of data that we get on HMIS, a lot of data that we get in school systems is actually abstract, high volume data, which does not come with a raw list of patients or children. The similar thing happened with sickle cell when we were able to, just because we could put an age criteria, we solved for 2 lakh people who were otherwise required to get tested, but were not required now because after 40 we don't test in the National Sickle Cell Mission. So this has been something that, these are our strategic partnerships, and before I close, I have my CEO Zilla Parishad, Naman, who's sitting here and who has managed the Zilla Parishad and a lot of systemic issues very well. We have the Khushi Baby team here, that's actually our technological partner and has designed this entire intervention. I'm also very happy that this is now being scaled up at the state level, and this is literally a plug and play. The only cost for replicating this is just the server cost. There is no extra cost for expanding on the application part. And the last acknowledgement, I have Bhashini team sitting here, Vaishali is here, and we are also working on expanding on the Bhili language work that we are doing with them. We've just built an LLM model for the first tribal language, and that's also something that we plan on integrating in our public health work. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sethi. At the outset, I would also like to be on your long list of scalable institutions, and DIC would, I think, one of our business divisions, Bhashni, is already there. So, I mean, your case is a classic example where a data-driven digital intervention, rooted in local language and targeting the most undeserved or neglected segment of the society, and you have made a wonderful impact, and I think it deserves to be scaled up at the national level. Congratulations once again, and your entire team here. Now I move to I think the last speaker, Mr. Yogesh Verma, who is a scientist with the Space Application Center, ISRO, to present the case of integrated cyber defense platform. Shri Verma brings over 2 decades of experience in computer science and information technology, and has been associated with cybersecurity, network infrastructure, and AI-enabled IT services at the Space Application Center. He's a member of several strategic initiatives of ISRO and Department of Space, including teams responsible for information security, policy formulation, security operations centers planning, and IT-enabled services. His areas of expertise span cybersecurity, AI-enabled IT services, software quality assurance, and software development and testings. And his contributions to research and innovation include software copyright, and more than 25 technical papers presented and published at national and international forums. The floor is yours, Sri Yogesh.
So thanks a lot for a nice introduction. I'm highly grateful and gratitude to this dais. So today I'm sitting with all IS, MDs and district magistrate. As we are aware that at ISRO, being at Space Application Center at Ahmedabad, our role is to do a societal benefit in terms of providing the applications to the end user and through the space technology. But the importance is, as we have heard from the health to the Mahakumbh and the health aspect as well. So what we generate is the data. So the importance is, if that data reaches to a malicious person, then data may be, you can say, used for its either as a criminal purpose, or it may defeat the end goal for which that application is meant to. So what we do at Space Application Center is, so this project initiative we proposed, and 2 years down the line earlier, our response time to these cyber threats are in days and hours. But today, through this next 7-10 minutes, I'll be taking through a scenario where we have reduced that response time once we know the threat till we block that threat in our all security products. So let me take you further. So what we have done, so any organization, being a smaller organization or a bigger or a critical organization, the important element which everybody has to deal with is the cyber threat. So what a cyber threat is? Any malicious IP, any domain, any signature of a malware that needs to be blocked across your security products. A simple example is, if I click a phishing link, and that phishing link will lead me to a malicious site where my sensitive information of my organization goes into the foreign parties, which will misuse that information for defeating my nation or defeating my services. So that is where our role is. So we have to protect our critical space infrastructure. So we build a in-house technology through which we are protecting, starting from the threat is received till we block it. These are few of the numbers. As we have seen, the critical infrastructure is where it's a high value target for any hostile countries. As you know that there are these days, there are APT groups where those are sponsored by the nations to get the information related to that particular organization. There are ransomware groups, there are cyber espionage campaigns which are run. You can see the numbers. So around 400% rise was there since 2019 till we are in 2024. So these are the numbers given by our certain agency. So these are the number of cyber incidents we have handled. Do you know the number of 94% of the malwares which are delivered to your organization is because of the clicks which you do in terms of the emails you receive or in terms of the web clicks you perform. The important aspect is, once the threat is known to you, how much time you take to block it. So that particular duration is the window where the malware actors are playing. Say the earlier days, the number till the malware gets undetected is around 204 days. So the malware is within your organization for almost 200 days and nobody knows about that malware. So what this malware does, they do a communication with the malicious outside parties and take your data outside. Now with the advent of AI technology, the numbers have reduced to less than 21 days. So within 21 days, your critical installation is in the hands of malicious actors. So what they do with that? The first and important aspect is, once they enter into your network, they do a lateral movement, they do a command and control to take out your data. So what was the situation 2 years before? And what the project initiative which we are discussing is not unique. It is a common problem across all ministries. So any threat which receives to one organization can be a problem for the another organization also. So the 4 challenges which we dealt with, the first is you take a situation in which one IP or malicious link you got that needs to be blocked in your organization. So what the analyst will do? The analyst will do a copy paste of that IOC. IOC is an indicator of compromise. They take that data into the firewall, block that IP so that traffic or communication should not happen with that particular IP. So the manual intervention is there in terms of handling that data, doing an entry into all security products. So the response time delays is almost in hours and days. So these are the days and hours which we are giving in the hands of malicious actors to exploit our infrastructure. The second important aspect is you take a scenario that if you are clicking a malicious.com kind of a site, and if it is malicious, so why to get it resolved? So the important aspect is once you know the malicious site is there, you have to block it at the DNS or the resolution layer itself. So being a critical organization, our browsing history should not fall in the hands of foreign actors. So we have to protect it. So that DNS protection is important as far as this mandate is concerned. The third and important aspect is you have a list of all IPs which needs to be blocked. But those IPs are static. So what about if those static IPs are no longer valid after say few seconds? So people like malicious actors, what they are doing? Once the malware is deployed in your organization, that malware do a communication with the external party. So the communication requires an IP address to communicate. So what these people are doing, they pseudo random numbers they are generating. So that domain will not remain as a single domain. There are thousands of domains which gets registered, and if any domain gets connected with your malware, your data can be out. So those kind of attacks we know as zero-day attacks, which we need to support. And all these technologies works in isolation. So what we need to do? So what is the solution to that? So solution is we build this platform where we receive all the threat intel feeds from external agencies, and those feeds are not auto-used. So you need to parse it, deduplicate it, make it usable so that it can be consumed across all your security products. The second important aspect is you have to block the malicious communication at the resolution layer itself. So your privacy is preserved at the DNS filtering level. So what it does is, if at the DNS level itself your attack gets failed. And third aspect is, these zero-day attacks, you have to keep on doing a pattern analysis, you have to do a subdomain analysis on the actual malicious data, so that the 0 days or new malwares which are unknown to your list, that should also get blocked. So what we build? So we build a end-to-end automated pipeline. From manual era, now we are fully automated. So 2 years back, we have a response of around in hours and days. Now we have response less than 5 minutes. The DNS filtering is the area where we block all the malicious communication before it gets connected to any malicious party. The AI detection, I would like to stress upon these two aspects as well. So we worked on two different categories, like bottom two equations you see. The DGA is, they will pseudo-random automated generated domains are there. So once a communication starts, you have to block that kind of a DGA communication. Even the DNS protocol itself is being used by the malicious actors to encode your data and take outside without firewall protection. So that DNS tunneling also you need to put. So the AI detection is mandatory in any automated scenario where the human efforts you need to reduce. So this is the operational solution which we arrived at. So once the data is received, we are keeping a repository of all the threat intel feed. It's been disseminated across, we have almost 20 plus major ISRO centers across India. And this software is built as a software as a service, deployed at Ahmedabad, Gujarat, at one of the critical centers of ISRO, that is a space application center. So all the facility is within our data center. So all services across the centers, pan-India, are pointing to us and getting the benefit of doing an automated threat intel provisioning as well as the DNS filtering. So these are the screenshots of how the different technical and managerial people do a monitoring of the entire platform. Few statistics, as I told, we reduced almost 98% response time. Currently, this is being used across all the ISRO installations, 20 plus, which are further supported by another 30 plus centers. Just a number, how many malicious IPs or domains we block every day? It's around 3,000 per center. The accuracy which we achieved for this AI model is around 99%. So few false positives we are keep on improving through our research methodology. So the mean time from knowing an attack and closing it, so we achieved almost less than 5 minutes. We showed our credibility and proof during Operation Sindoor. As you know that to win a war against any nation, so the importance is now these days is not a kinetic war. So the cyber war is the precursor to any war which happens. So this is what we faced during May last year. Earlier we used to get only 3,000 IOCs per day, but during those 5-7 days of when the Operation Sindoor was on, we received almost 8,000 to 10,000 attacks on the critical installations, which we have to take care for not only one center, but we have to take care of the entire space segment. So that proves our software capability. So if we can deploy it and use it for an organization like ISRO, diversified across all pan-India, so we projected our vision as a scalable approach that if we can block at one organization, so why not block at the Bharat level? So like you are sitting with your mobile, clicking a link, that should point to a Bharat level DNS, that malware or malicious link should not come to you as well. If we can protect my endpoint in my office, why cannot I protect every nation citizen of my country? So that requires a few software elements to be customized, and our software is ready to be deployed at a Bharat DNS level. Hopefully in coming days we'll be able to see that. The second aspect is the threat intel or the malware list, which is to be blocked in ISRO. It should be blocked across all the organizations, all the ministries, all the PSUs, and at the endpoint itself in your house. So that malware should not reach to your house, so that if you do a work from home, that should not get into your office. So you have to have a mechanism at Bharat level. If I can block, it's not that India is not doing anything. There are few agencies we are working on that. China or other countries are already into pipeline or already build that kind of a grid scenario. So we project that scalability at a Bharat level. So we build at SAC, and it is protecting the India's critical space infrastructure. We are not dependent on any commercial product, indigenously built with our own team of scientists, not to mention our students as well. So trainees and interns, which are likely to do a research in cybersecurity, they are with us in building this technology, because we are alone cannot build it. It requires everybody's support. AI driven, because the malwares which are known is already known. The malwares which are not known needs to be blocked. That requires a pattern, training, learning cycle, AI, ML, so that we are working on those research areas. Rapid response during heightened national security scenarios we faced, and we have overwhelmingly, you can say, come out of that as well, and we faced that challenge as well. Our product is ready for nationwide deployment, and these are the few of my team member names. List is only 4 and 5. I cannot add hundreds of names of my students, leaders who motivated us, so that I'll share the stage with all of these esteemed guests, you can say delegates and listeners, so that is also important. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Yogeshji. Thank you, ISRO. Thank you, SAC, for keeping the nation safe, especially in the time of crisis of Operation Sindoor. We all know cybersecurity challenges is quite complex, and we're part of the same ministry, and we understand what kind of responsibility and challenge you have taken. It's heartening to see the entire team has worked tirelessly. You and your entire team deserves all kind of accommodation for this initiative, and glad to see that you are taking it forward and making it a national scale. We are all learned a lot from them. Thank you once again to all four of you.
Thank you, sir. Let's give a warm round of applause to our distinguished speakers for their insightful presentation and valuable contribution. We now open the floor for a brief question and answer session. May I request participants to kindly introduce themselves before asking their question and keep their questions brief and relevant to the session.
माइक है? कोई माइक दे दीजिए, नहीं तो वहाँ माइक चल रहा है आपका, जरा प्रेस करके देखिए. नहीं चल रहा है, माइक दे दीजिए जरा.
हेलो, मेरा नाम राम कुमार गोस्वामी है. मैं डुएट में काम करता हूँ, स्टाफ हूँ. मेरा क्वेश्चन सुशील सर से है, ड्रिंकिंग वाटर के रिगार्डिंग. ड्रिंकिंग वाटर के रिगार्डिंग मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि जब धरती के अंदर फ्लोराइड जमा है तो उसको आपने बताया था कि नेक्स्ट हम उसको फिल्टर करते हैं, मतलब कि इम्प्रूव करते हैं, तो किस तरह से करेंगे उसको?
नहीं, मेरा काम ड्रिंकिंग वाटर प्रोजेक्ट और सब करने का नहीं है. मैं तो पंचायती राज मंत्रालय से एक प्लेटफॉर्म बनाता हूँ, एक पोर्टल बनाता हूँ सब कुछ मॉनिटर करने के लिए. सारे एक्टिविटी कंसर्न मिनिस्ट्री वाले करते हैं. फ्लोराइड को कैसे कम किया जाए इसका स्टैंडर्ड तरीका है. मैं तो उस सेक्टर को डील नहीं करता हूँ, इसलिए मैं नहीं बता सकता. लेकिन मैं जो प्रेजेंट किया वो ये प्रेजेंट किया कि आप अलग अलग सेक्टर में पंचायतें किस स्तर पे है उसका एक मापदंड तैयारी हो जाता है. उसका मेजरमेंट करके एक हम स्कोर दे देते हैं. जहाँ ड्रिंकिंग वाटर की समस्या है वहाँ पुअर स्कोर आएगा, तो जो प्रशासन है वो ड्रिंकिंग वाटर के ऊपर काम कर सकेगी. मेरा वो मंत्रालय नहीं है, इसलिए मैं उस पर जवाब नहीं दे सकता. ठीक है.
कोई और कोई प्रश्न?
Hello, good evening, sir. I am Dr. Aman. I am representative from the Home Guards Department, Rajasthan Home Guard Services. My submission, it's not a question, but it's to the CEO Digital India Corporation. There are many solutions which are available in every state of the country, which can be replicated across various departments, various states. And many of the departments are operating in the silos. There could be many departments which are very small in nature. They don't have an in-house team. They don't have resources to find the solution to their problem. But yes, they have very defined use case and very defined problem very precisely to which they are looking forward to the solution. So one of the possible way to look at this scenario is building a repository of the solutions at in the public domain, like AI Kosh is there, where we can go and can submit our problem statement. And from there, the government does the hand-holding support, and I just interacted in the morning session with Kavita ma'am. So similarly, the solutions which have already been replicated, like the crowd management from the Ujjain or from the Mahakumbh, they can be used in the policing department where the crowd solutions are required. So like for my own department, like we could be looking at some solutions which already exist in the universe, but we don't have access to because they are not there. Maybe they are there in the public domain, but we don't have access to. So kindly make an effort which you are already doing. Like you just shared that the solution from the Vaishno Devi Shrine Board was replicated to the Ujjain board, and which would be replicated across different temple and shrine boards. So similarly, such solutions should be replicable and should be accessible. And second thing was building on the same domain, like Bhashini platform is there. And there are many government schools are there which are like teacher deficient and where they don't have the exact resources. So like the very good content which is already available in the, maybe in English language and in the colleges and the universities where there's very standard and very good AV material for learning is there, they, like with the integration of the Bhashini platform, they could be replicated to the regional languages and could be made accessible so that the penetration increases. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Your both suggestions are very valuable and taken note of it. Just for your information, we have decided to scale up all nationally recognized initiatives. Those who have passed the rigors of screening. So in this case, for example, we have 17 cases and we will approach those individual cases. For example, 2 or 3 of us are sitting here, especially Mahakal and the Mittali's project. We will scale up and we'll make it use at a national level. For others, we will definitely would like to, but the problem is that there will be a lot number of people coming to us, and we don't have currently a system to test those. To start with, we will start from there. On the second part, as you said, Bhashini is experimenting all kind of such initiatives. In the second session, they have especially addressed few of those challenges or such initiatives in certain departments. I am sure there must be. I am not aware of a particular initiative that they want to take up or they have taken with Ministry of Education, but I am sure there must be this. This is an area of good concern and we'll convey to them. Thank you. Any other question, please? I think that's all. Thank you. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
I'm from Mahakaleshwar. I'm Sushil Ujjain. I'm from Madhya Pradesh, NCeG. I've just joined Madhya Pradesh. So while looking at this Mahakal initiative, like it requires huge data capturing and data storage, and then you are matching the data. Like if I give you a face, you match it against all the huge amount of. So it requires huge compute, huge storage, and high concurrency. Now, first thing is that like as per DPDP Act, like as a citizen, are you expected as a government to capture my face and store it? Number one. I don't know whether it is, I read some of the places where the faces were captured and they were, so if it is like that, so where currently you are, what is the infrastructure you have deployed this? And then what is the technology you are you using some proprietary technology or some private, crowd service provider whose services have been provided, or they have been developed face matching algorithm, it has been developed in-house. So if it has to be scaled up at the national level, then we have to see that, this face matching and all those things should be, the services should be in-house itself, or whether the application has been deployed at the data center, state data center. So these concerns I had, I just wanted what you're thinking about it.
Good that you mentioned DPDP Act. We took all the care of following the privacy issues and ethical issues I mentioned in my PPT also. And I would like to state that we don't store the data. For example, the FRS system which we have, these are only for the services. We never store the data. And as per the camera data, which you mentioned, since we have more than 450 cameras, the number is ever increasing. So for that, we have a storage, and that is for 45 days or 60 days. That is only for 45 days. We don't store data, camera data for more than 45 days. And this is how the system is working. And I would like to state that we have our partner, one of the PSUs, TCIL, which is our technical support in the system. And with their help, we are able to implement that system. And day by day, since technology is ever growing, so day by day, we are taking their help. And as sir mentioned just now, we'll work with sir's help and guidance, and whatever new technology is coming up, we'll implement it on our system also, and during Kumbh also, and as sir said, we will scale it up to other places also. I hope I answered your question. Thank you.
Just to add to your DPDP, so with respect to the cyber security, like 2 examples you mentioned is somebody approached you with a photo and you find out through your surveillance system about the end result. So it's a consent based input given to you, so that falls under DPDP Act. So your consent privacy aspect is to be preserved. So that is first and important aspect. And the other aspect is the age boundation is not there because it's a surveillance system. So it is meant to do a surveillance which is in the public interest. So that data which you capture, even if what sir is saying it's not being stored, but it can be, in terms of your predictive analysis, it can be used for your down the line chain for your predictive and AI based compute. So if it is, as long as it is preserving the privacy of that particular end user and is not been given to any for other, correct. Yeah, it's applicable to any, yeah, so yeah, that needs to be preserved anyhow. Yeah, please. Yes.
As we come to the close of this enriching session, it is now time for the vote of thanks. I take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to our respected chair and our esteemed speakers and all the delegates for their valuable presence and thought-provoking contributions. Your insights have truly reflected the spirit of innovation and excellence in digital governance. Thank you all for making this session meaningful and inspiring. Thank you so much. And now, I request our dignitaries to kindly remain on the stage for the presentation of mementos, followed by the official group photograph. And for the felicitation ceremony, I would like to invite Mr. Y.K. Jain, Technical Director, Department of Information Technology and Communication, Rajasthan. Can we have a big round of applause? Come on, everybody.